Alright, so now coming over to the next parts which I had left, okay, that is this is the topic configuring various versioning and API level requirements for Appium, and that's what I actually talked about. You should be having minimum API level 17. If you don't have, you need to upgrade your phone, okay, in order for Appium to work properly. Okay, starting Appium server from console, this means the Appium console. This is the one I told you how you can start it and how you can read the console commands and all, everything comes up. Right, now sometimes you might feel the need of starting it from the command prompt as well. The reason for this is that at times you might be working on a Unix based platform, okay, where there is actually no user interface, right? So you might feel the need that you just need to give in some shell commands, okay, on this kind of command prompt where you can start the server. You can do that, okay, that is not a problem, right? For doing that, what you need to do is that you need to go to the place where you have stored Appium. This is Appium, okay. Inside it you will have the node modules folder, okay. Inside it you will have the Appium folder, and inside it you will have the bin folder. So you need to go to the bin folder, right, inside node modules Appium bin. Fine, copy the path and go to this path on the command prompt. Okay, now after you have been to this path, hold on, what you need to do is that you need to give the command node Appium. Right, once you give the command, the Appium server will start from the command prompt. Okay, I'll jot down this command over here. Okay, this is the command. Right, the same kind of logs which you get over there you'll get it out here as well. But the better part is you can stop it, Control C you can hit, it will stop. But the better part is if you are working on Windows or Mac, you can simply use the console, the Appium console, and do it rather than doing it from the command prompt. Okay, right, but still you should know it. It's a possibility. Fine, you can also know about the other commands on command prompt for Appium. You can visit the website appium.io. right, this is the website. You go to this site and you click on the documentation link on the top. It will take you to the documentation of Appium. You click on any version and hold on, out here you'll have the Appium server arguments section, right? You go to this section, Appium server arguments, and these are the various Appium server arguments which you can pass over. For example, a argument like no reset will prevent your applications from reinstalling. Full reset will actually reinstall the application. So when you start the server, you can give this command node Appium and give a space and give this command, and this command would be equivalent to the no reset option which we had set out here. Okay, there are other options as well. For other options there are other set of server arguments which you can have. Okay, but again, starting it through console is obviously anytime better and easy, right? Fine, now moving ahead, right, so we saw these things. Okay, you can refer the documentation for Appium as well. Fine, now about working on a simulator, okay, or rather in an Android emulator, right? So you can do that. You can set up, you can go to, it's also known as a virtual device. Alright, it's also known as a virtual device. Under this project, download and run Appium, I have this folder Appium Android configuration.txt. Okay, in Eclipse you can rename a file by hitting F2. Alright, so you can have this file and it will help you to install it in an easier way. Right, now you can start a simulator. Okay, you can go to window. If you don't have a phone, you want to test it on a simulator, you can do that. You can go to AVD manager, Android virtual device manager. Okay, make sure Android is configured inside this Eclipse. Okay, you click on this and you will get this kind of a window, right? So you can have any kind of virtual device created out here. Okay, you can give the virtual device name, say test, right? Which virtual device you want, say I want Nexus 5, right? It's for API level 16. Automatically all the configurations will come up. If the CPU name doesn't come up out here, for many of you the CPU name might not come up. Okay, you might see the message no image found and all. You can go to command prompt and type Android command. Okay, you can go to the command prompt and type Android command. Let the manager open up. Hold on, just a minute. Right, so SDK manager has opened up. Right, now if you look at Eclipse, you are trying to use the device Nexus 5. It's for version 4.1.2 API level 16. Okay, this is the target. You can change the target. Okay, say I'll change the target to API level, any API level. Say 16 is not actually supported by Appium, say API level 19. Okay, Nexus 5 for Android version will be 4.4.2, which is API level 19. Now in case you don't see these options over here, you need to go to AVD and over here for search for the version. Okay, for 4.4.2, make sure that this ARM EABI system image, this thing, and Intel Atom, these are installed. Rather, the complete API is installed for that version, including these two. Alright, sometimes the other things get installed, this doesn't get installed, and it creates a lot of issues. Right, so you select the CPU, right, and then you select the HVGA skin. Make sure you do this skin and click on OK. So it will take a while and it will create a test simulator for Nexus 5 version 4.4.2. Okay, this is the one. Now you can start it. Okay, now what happens is that when you start it, for many people, right, I'll scale it to the real size device, right, for many people this might fail. Okay, this might crash in the beginning, or you will see some error message coming up over here. Okay, right, look, the thing is you need to have the graphic drivers installed in your PC. Okay, in my case I was also getting the error initially. Right, it is dependent on the graphic drivers. The graphic drivers should be updated once. I'm having a special graphic card in my PC and I never installed the drivers for that, and it failed for me initially, and then I installed the drivers and everything became okay. So I started it. It will take some time, fine, it will take a while, and then you will actually see the device coming up. Now this is the thing, simulator is actually very slow. It takes lot of time for the simulator to actually load. Okay, and it can be very frustrating at times. Fine, let it load, let us wait for it. Okay, and if you look at the bottom, you see this green image. This is the simulator. It is loading and it will still take time. Okay, it will still take time to load. Just be with me. So it's loading Android. You'll get this screen. So now this has launched. Okay, you can click on this OK icon and you can go out here and you can scroll it the way normally you scroll on the phone. Okay, hold on, you go to the settings. In just a minute, yeah, you go to the settings, and inside settings you will have, hold on, you'll have the developer options enabled already, and if you go to about phone, you will have, just hold on, let me show you about phone. You'll have the Android version 4.4.2 mentioned over here, which is the one which you wanted in the emulator, right? And if you go to the developer options, and you will, just a minute, yeah, you need to turn on USB debugging. Okay, now now Appium can actually connect with this emulator and run the tests on this. Okay, and in the code which we had, right, this was the code, right? I'll just create a new file out here, new class known as WhatsApp underscore simulator. Fine, and inside this class I'll copy the other code which we had. Fine, and out here you'll have to write a device name. Okay, I'll keep it Nexus 5, the platform version 4.4.2 which I had. Okay, now this depends on the version you have, right? And now if you Appium, if you open the console, you run the console, Appium will be able to detect this. Make sure your physical phone, the actual phone, is not connected to PC. Okay, this is the device on which you want to run the tests. This is there, you want to run it on this device, the simulator. Now you start your Appium server and run this code. Right, I've started it. I've started the Appium server in no reset mode. That means if the application is not installed, install it. If it is installed, then don't install it. Okay, right, so it'll install it in this case because on my simulator the application is not there, WhatsApp is not there. Right, so when I run this code now and you look at the Appium logs, right, you'll start having the logs generating. So getting Java version, this is the Java version, right? And hold on, setting device ID to emulator, right? So it's detected the emulator, right? Now it's waiting for the device to be ready and respond to the shell commands for Appium, right? So more and more logs are coming up. Fine. Device API level is 19, which is correct. We selected 19 over there, right, when we were making the simulator, right? And app is not installed, installing the app. So it's installing the app right now on the simulator, and after installing the app it will start the start the application, right? So hold on, it will take some time. Fine, and everything will come up over here. We just have to give it time, right? It is a time consuming process. Okay, now that's why, you know, simulator I don't prefer to use. When I have a real device, I should test it always on the real device because it's fast, and you actually end up testing on something on which the app is actually going to be used in the end. The end customer will be using it on the real device, right? If you are releasing a crucial product in the market, you just cannot test it on a simulator and release it. For learning Appium, yes, if you don't have a phone, if you don't have an Android phone, you can use the simulator. In the rest of the tutorials, I'll be using simulator, I'll be using the phone, but you know, all the commands which work on phone also work on simulator. Okay, right, so it is working right now. Alright, and hold on, it will take time. Again it found the device API level. You see that WhatsApp launches, right? So you'll have the initial registration page of WhatsApp over here because WhatsApp was not actually installed on this device, so, and it crashes as well after that because I have used driver.quit. Fine, so this is how you work on a simulator. Okay, you might not be able to create a simulator because you might not be having a proper graphics configuration, and also that is required. Okay, and now we'll be talking about the next tutorial. Okay, the next tutorial is launching hybrid and native apps with Appium. This is important, and we'll be seeing a lot of fundamentals out here. Okay, so, and if you look at the documentation over here, yes, this part is left. Various Maven and POM dependencies for Appium. Yes, I'll talk about this. It's important. Okay, now at times you want that you don't want to include the jar files in the project yourself. Okay, because you know, when you are in a project, then a lot of people, they actually they are working on the project, and you want that everybody should be using, say, same version of Selenium, same version of Appium. It should not be that your colleague is using 2.0 and you are using 2.1, right? So for that we have got Maven. If you have done the Selenium course with us, obviously you will be knowing what Maven is, right? So what I am going to do is that I am going to configure a new Maven project, right? And I am going to my command prompt right now. In the Selenium course I have told how to use Maven. Okay, it's very easy, you just need to configure it. Fine. And I'll go to the location of my workspace. Okay, this is the location of the workspace in my PC, and I'll give a command mvn archetype colon generate. Okay, so we'll start making a new Maven project out here. Okay, in the end the objective is same, to run it on a device or on a simulator, but we'll be using Maven, so that all the jars and all, they are automatically downloaded from the centralized Maven repositories on the internet, right? Using Maven, all the team members in the team can make sure that everybody has the same version of jar files and all. Okay, so it generates the project, and out here I'll write I'll hit enter, and group ID I'll write com dot say appium dot maven sample. Okay, the project name I'll give as Maven Appium project. Okay, and package name I'll keep same. Okay, give yes, and build success. Okay, if build is successful, you will see that under this path, under the workspace, you will have the folder Maven Appium project. Under this you will have the pom.xml file which is auto generated with only the JUnit dependencies. Now we don't want JUnit dependencies, we want the other dependencies to be also there. Alright, so let me get the other dependencies which are out here. Hold on. This is another pom.xml from the Flipkart project, which we'll be doing later on the Flipkart application, right? So I'll copy this pom.xml into the current pom.xml. Okay, from the dependencies tag. So we are dependent on testng version 6.1.1. If you don't know testng, you can go to the Selenium tutorial section of qtpselenium.com. The testng module is free, it is open to everyone. You can watch the testng module, right? You are dependent on JSON jar, Selenium version 2.45.0, Appium version 2.2.4. okay, I'll just confirm this, right? From in Eclipse, under reference library, we have the Java client library, which is the latest version. Hold on. Under Appium, Java client 2.2.0 is there, which is actually correct. Okay, we have 2.2.0 and various POI API jar files which will be used to read Excel files. Okay, DOM4j. So these are all the jar files. Okay, so I have actually copied them into the Maven project. Right now I'll go inside this project. So this pom.xml document denotes that these are the jar files on which the project will be dependent on, the Appium project. Okay, you can distribute this POM file to each and every team member, and each and every team member will use this POM file to make the project. Okay, now for example, in my case, I will actually inside this Appium final workspace, I'll go inside the project which I've created. Okay, inside the project actually I have this pom.xml which has the dependencies. right? So I'll give the command over here mvn compile, and all the jar files will be downloaded from the internet onto my machine. Okay, Selenium jar files I think I already have. Okay, and Appium jar files I'm also having, so it says simply build success. In your case it will download lot of things. Okay, now I'll convert this project into an Eclipse project so that I can open it in Eclipse. For that the command is mvn eclipse :eclipse. Okay, so when you give this command mvn eclipse :eclipse, it will download some dependencies. Just hold on. Right, build success, and now I can open up Eclipse and import this project into Eclipse. Right, hold on, import existing projects to Eclipse, and this is the project. Okay, you import it in Eclipse and this is the project. It'll have no errors, and it will have all the jar files in the reference libraries. These jar files will be auto downloaded in your PC. Okay, in source test Java you can have a file. This is a JUnit file. You're not using JUnit. Okay, I'll delete this file and I'll just call it new class, right, and I'll call it Appium test. Okay, or WhatsApp test. Fine, and inside it I'll make the annotation function @test public void start app. Okay, I think I can copy the code from the earlier part. Right, I can simply copy this into this. Right, okay, and I'll actually run it on the emulator itself. Fine, Nexus 5 4.4.2, and what I will do is that in my I'll have a testng.xml file through which I am going to run this Java file. Okay, testng.xml is the heart of Maven. Is the heart of everything, right? It directs all the test cases and all everything, right? I'll make a new source folder, source test resources. Okay, inside this I'll keep the testng.xml file. Let me get that file from here, source test. Okay, Java resources are not there. Hold on just a minute. I'll take it from Selenium, right, module 21 from the hybrid framework. This is testng.xml. I'll just put it out here, and right, I'll just name the test case as WhatsApp. Okay, and it's inside this package dot WhatsApp test. Fine, okay, right, and I will simply run it through command prompt. Okay, I'll simply run it through command prompt. This one I don't need. I'll simply write over here mvn test. Okay, so this will run. Make sure you have the Appium server started. Okay, this will simply run it on the phone. Right, so it's going to take the same amount of time. Okay, I have a build failure over here. Okay, now you don't have to worry. Okay, there is some error, right, and you will see that the error is session not created. Okay, bad app file, right? Probably I need to restart my Appium server. I'll stop the Appium server and restart it. Fine, and this should solve. hold on, MVN test, and it should work. You should always read the error carefully. You should not be afraid of errors. Many times you do some mistake. Okay, so it says that it's failed again. Bad app. Okay, it's not able to find the APK file of WhatsApp. Okay, I need to copy the APK file of WhatsApp from the above project into this project. Okay, so that's the reason it's not working. Right, so I'll just copy paste it. This is the APK file, right? And now I'll again run this. This is just a warning that Log4j is not configured properly. It's not an error, it's a warning. If you look at this, it's a warning sign, right? And this time it seems to be running and it will launch WhatsApp. The advantage is that with this Maven you can generate reports. You can generate XSLT reports, which I'll just show you. Right, hold on. Let it run, let the WhatsApp open, then let it close. See, WhatsApp launches and it will close in some time. Then we'll generate XSLT reports, which are actually very good reports. Okay, agree and continue, and you write over here mvn site command. Okay, this will generate the XSLT reports. The test got over, and if you refresh this, you will have the target folder. Hold on, it is generating. Okay, it's generating the reports, right? Under target folder it generates the site folder. You see that? You have to refresh it. Fine. Report ng XSLT reports, and if you look at index.html out here, just a minute, my Eclipse, it hanged. Yeah, if you open this index.html, you will actually see very good reports. This is the report. This was the WhatsApp test. Okay, start time, end time, duration, and with the graphical diagram. Only one test got executed, it was passed, so it is coming green. If it had failed or if it had skipped, then the colors would have been different. So it's a really nice report. Okay, so we will be using Maven project in the real time, in the real project and all, which we do out here, may probably by the end over here in the page object factory model, right? So we'll do this thing out here. Okay, so let's move on to the next module now.